Risen from the ashes to school the masses. Hello everyone, welcome to episode 120 of the Scholars of Wrestling Show. I'm your man behind the microphone, Scholar Jeff. To my left is Scholar Tarek.
Holy shit, are we really at 120?
Yes, we are.
Wow.
And to my other left is Scholar Brian.
It's been a long road. We just have no idea what actual...
I'm just surprised we got to the 20 mark. It seems a lot quicker than getting to the first 100.
Even numbers, alright.
Even numbers for the win.
Yeah, buddy.
Hey, speaking of big even numbers, that's the only segue I got to a little bit of this week's backstage news.
I don't even know how that could segue to us peeking behind the curtain and checking in on a little
Backstage news!
News.
Seriously, how the hell does that segue into backstage news?
Well, let's talk about even numbers. I'm thinking specifically of UFC 200, where one, Brock Lesnar, is apparently going to be fighting.
It's a very thin segue, but you know what? It still fits.
It's the only one got.
It still fits. It works.
This is unprecedented at all. He is under contract for WWE. Like, in most cases, when you're under a contract for one big company, you cannot go work for another one.
Yes.
But I guess because of the monumental number, UFC 200, and the UFC wanted Brock Lesnar to make an appearance, the WWE was like, okay, fine, as long as he can show up for SummerSlam, I don't care, take him.
Mm-hmm.
I think the one thing that intrigues me about this story is knowing how Vince McMahon works. He would want something in return for allowing Brock Lesnar to show up on UFC.
And from what it looks like, he will be getting just that.
UFC woman Paige Van Zant.
I heard that name going around. Again, I'm not sure if that's actually going to be a thing or not. I'm not sure if it's progressed past the rumor stage.
I think that if it's like a package swap deal, kind of deal, like it either needs to be Ronda Rousey.
Oh yeah, I heard. I actually heard Ronda Rousey is him wanting to do something with Ronda Rousey at WrestleMania,
or one of the two, the challenger that beat her for the title, or the woman who beat Ronda Rousey for the title.
Yeah, that was who was that again?
The names. I'm terrible with names, so
Misha
count me out of this one.
That was Misha Tate. Okay.
Misha Tate, I believe one of those. It would have to be one of those three because they're not getting the mail. They're not getting the mail. The only one they would want is CM Punk, and that's not even
I'm just surprised that Dana White actually agreed to that because he's made it clear how much he hates WWE.
No,
at least professional wrestling. Period.
Here's what surprises me. Okay, not Dana White. Okay, because he wanted Brock Lesnar. Okay, Vince McMahon allowing this to happen is what surprises me.
No, what I mean with Dana White is the fact that yes, Vince McMahon would want something out of it. I'm just also surprised Dana White would be like, okay, I want Brock Lesnar so much, fine. It's probably even to that extent where he was so frustrated that he's like, I can't believe I have to work with this douchebag. I don't like Vince McMahon. I don't like what he represents when it comes to professional wrestling. But I get Brock Lesnar out of it at this big event.
But in order to get Brock Lesnar the way I want him to be, I have to eat crow.
Yeah, the way you want him.
I have to eat crow and allow this to happen.
But in the meantime, it's not like he's not getting anything out of this period. Like, they did say that UFC was going to be promoting SummerSlam too.
Are they?
Yes.
Well, they would have to with Brock Lesnar.
Probably to his disdain.
And you know what's happened. I'm not sure if you heard this, but have you heard what's going to be happening the night before SummerSlam?
NXT Takeover? Or UFC 200? No, it can't be UFC 200.
Yeah, I was like, wait, what did you say?
That's weird.
The night before SummerSlam is going to be UFC 202, which is going to be the one and only debut of CM Punk.
And he'll lose, and I will laugh, and then we will move on to SummerSlam.
Like, apparently he's fighting.
No, in that case, we're going to move on to NXT Takeover. Brooklyn.
No, because it would be over. And UFC normally happens after Takeover's over.
Yeah.
Because it normally starts at like 10.
Imagine like Dana White's like, let's go see how we can take all those NXT fans away from WWE and make it an earlier show. Wow, that's very dick. And he's not even doing that.
Yeah, but then they'd forget. But then he'd forget that it's on the network, and hey, we could just watch it afterwards. It's not that big a deal.
Good day, sir.
Yeah. So supposedly CM Punk is going to be fighting some guy named Mickey Gall.
For now.
On August 20th.
At the moment, let's see how his back holds out.
Let's see CM Punk make a different excuse this time.
You think he's making excuses?
I do feel so, yeah.
I think it's a mixed bag. He is making excuses, but I do believe he's like, oh yeah, I do have these injuries I want to take care of, but he is also using it as an excuse not to fight.
I do have these injuries, but I didn't come out with them in public until after I signed the contract to have this fight at a certain show, which I am now unable to make. Okay, does that not seem fishy to anybody else? It was like 2 days after the contract was signed.
I smell. You smell that? Yeah. You know what that is? Fish. It's freedom.
I mean, even the most CM Punk fan, the biggest CM Punk fan, would look and be like, the timing of this is really weird. Just saying. I mean, because he would have known beforehand, because you have to have the physical before you sign the contract for the fight.
I was under the impression that he aggravated an injury and he just got put on a shelf or something. Or did I miss?
No, which would mean that he knew about the injury beforehand,
and he just didn't care,
and he didn't say anything until after the bout was signed, until after it was signed, which is fishy. Okay.
I thought his match with Mickey Gall was just recently announced.
He had a match set up for, I think, earlier this year. Mm-hmm. They set it up last year. They signed the contract late last year, and then like 2 days after the contract was signed, he was like, "Oh, I can't do it. I need to have back surgery." And then I think the opponent changed.
He really it's a different opponent.
But the timing of what happened after the contract signing for the first bout was a little weird. And then you get the stuff coming out that says he's not very good at it. He's not learning as quickly as the UFC people would like him to, and
apparently Joe Rogan hates his guts.
And it starts getting a little.
Well, yeah, only time will tell what happens.
Yeah, honestly, I really can't join the CM Punk is a coward and he sucks bandwagon.
Well, I'm not saying he's a coward and he sucks. I'm just saying the timing is fishy. That's all I'm saying.
I know, but I'm also seeing a lot of I'm seeing the naysayers coming out of the woodwork in like excess.
Yeah, I'm just going by. I'm just going by.
A very big CM Punk fan when he was in WWE, but what he's been doing recently has just been kind of, best way to put it, not just fishy, also kind of dickish.
Yeah, that I will agree with.
I'm just going by. Now you're just really hurting.
I'm just going by factual news reports that say he's not ready. He wasn't ready when he signed. He wasn't ready when he signed his first contract. All of a sudden, he needs back surgery. I'm not saying that the back injury wasn't legitimate. Okay, I'm just saying the timing of everything coming out was a little fishy, and now you get the stories that were coming out a few weeks ago of he's not progressing the way we want him to, so we'll throw him against this guy who's really nothing. Okay, I've never heard of Mickey Gall before. I've never heard of him. So if he loses that fight, okay, he needs to stop. That's it.
Either way, that's one good thing that thankfully now that we've got an end point here, the proof will be in the pudding, no matter what.
Yeah. So we'll find out exactly if CM Punk was just talking the talk, or if he can talk the talk and walk the walk.
Well, he did say he just wants to do it win or lose.
Yeah.
A lot of the appeal seemed to be just the sincerity in that.
Yeah.
I'm sure he definitely wants to win. I definitely want to see him win, but hey, no matter what, hey, he'll have to stand on his own 2 feet, and we'll just see what happens then. I know I'm going to be watching. But until then, I'm sure at least one of you guys have seen this. Did you guys see Breaking Ground this past week?
I did.
I did not.
Holy crap, you missed something great. Like, I love this series going in, but just this past episode this week, where it is sort of an epilogue for the current group of people they were covering in this round. Wow, this is easily one of the best things that they're doing on the network right now. Like, I love this.
This is like a very successful, Tough Enough, if you take out the competition aspect of it.
Yeah, it came across. It was more of a documentary than anything else.
Yeah, that's what this Breaking Ground has always been. Like the documentary of the NXT
of the people at the Performance Center.
Of people at the Performance Center trying to learn and make their way up. So I guess this was a good one.
It was.
Like I said, it's what I mean by it's like the Tough Enough take out the competition. It's them basically showing you them building a WWE superstar from the ground up. That's exactly what Tough Enough is, building this WWE superstar from the ground up, but they made it a competition, and so they took the competition part out of it, and they made it a documentary.
And who were they focusing on?
And here's the kicker. When they first got started, they just focused on a whole bunch of NXT people, like specifically Bayley, Dana Brooke, Baron Corbin, Apollo Crews, Enzo and Cass, American Alpha, Sami Zayn too, and it just ended right at WrestleMania, right when all of these people are getting called up, and they actually have cameras on them at the exact moments where they get
when they get told that they're being called up. Yeah,
and it's just like the raw emotion, the raw unfiltered, like. It's absolutely wild and fascinating to see, and it's very heartwarming too, like legit.
So basically, what you're telling me is, after this recording, I should go home and watch it immediately.
Yes, absolutely.
It actually was a very touching episode.
It's excellent.
All right.
Although it did make me relive Zack Ryder winning the damn Intercontinental Championship at WrestleMania again.
But you know what?
He will never.
I won't let
that go.
I won't.
But you know what? It also made me care that much more for Zack Ryder. And you know what? It actually made me care and have a lot more respect for Mojo Rawley, of all people. Think about that.
Not for me, not so much.
Hey, I stay hype bro for the hype bro.
No.
I got no. I'm sorry, that didn't work. No. Either way,
yeah, it was a very good episode. And it actually made me care about Nia Jax a lot more. Honestly, especially after TakeOver.
Seriously, I like Nia Jax more and more by the day. I seriously do.
She hasn't warmed up to me yet, but the documentary helped a little bit.
Well, you know what? I think we've all established that we gotta see this. Everyone's got to. If you're listening to this and you haven't seen the finale of Breaking Ground yet, put this on pause, watch it, and then come on back.
Welcome back.
Okay, we're back. So let's talk about Takeover The End, from the latest production from NXT.
Very good show.
Very good show.
I enjoyed it.
It was good.
Mm-hmm. So let's dive right in.
It wasn't the best. It wasn't the best one they've ever had, but it was good.
It was good.
It was an NXT Takeover show. That it's never bad.
Even their worst show is a very good show.
Yeah, so it's like it's more of the same.
Yeah.
So let's dive right in. We had Andrade Cien Almas defeating Ty Dillinger, who apparently had some sort of neon box strapped to his back.
This match really didn't do much for me. It was very typical.
I thought it was solid. It's like, as debuts go, okay. It was between Kevin Owens and Apollo Crews for me, because I didn't really like Apollo Crews' debut match. Like this, this was fine. This was fine. The finish of the match was kind of weak, but what do you expect from a debut match? This did exactly what it was supposed to do. You had a new guy come in, okay, show himself off a little bit, and get out of there in quick fashion. so it was there.
Okay.
I guess my biggest complaint about it was something that we've talked about in the past with, actually, who was it that had their debut and we talked about, I think it actually was Apollo Crews. No, it wasn't Apollo Crews.
Austin Aries?
I don't remember who exactly, but I remember, I think it was you, it was me and you, Brian, who actually weren't very thrilled about his debut, and you were on the other end. You thought his debut was awesome, and it was just the whole fact of,
it was No Way Jose, wasn't it?
I don't remember. It just his debut match didn't leave an impact on me to want to invest it more. Like, I don't like it that you have to see more matches to get invested. It's once you have the first match and you just basically catch me in hook, line, and sinker. So that's what this match was to me. It's just nothing. It was just a generic match.
A generic debut match that left you. That basically was like, I will say, watch on to see this guy more. And for some people, they don't like that.
I will give it to him. And I do want to see where he goes from here. I want to see him build his character more. But it just didn't leave such an impact on me to care.
Because they debuted him on a pay-per-view, I guess NXT pay-per-view style event. Okay, I expect to see big things out of this guy in the future, but time will tell. Because you get the guys like No Way Jose who debut on the NXT show on Wednesday in like the opening segment where no one gives a damn, and then you get the but you can almost guarantee that something is in the works for this guy because he debuted on the NXT's pay-per-view styled show.
Honestly, this guy I was kind of lukewarm about for a while, just because of his moveset and the way he moves around in the ring I thought was kind of cool. But when he first came out and he's sort of portrayed as this guy who was like a former masked luchador, and I was like, okay, sounds promising enough. And then he comes out with that dumb hat and those suspenders. I'm like, what the hell are you doing, sir? No. It just didn't work for me. Sure, he seemed solid enough in the ring, but it just didn't all seem to add up. I don't know. It just sort of fell flat for me. But again, the match was serviceable, but I expected a lot more than just serviceable from this guy. But,
We'll see where he goes down the road to see if he can make a big impact.
It's once again, he's facing Ty Dillinger, okay? When we get big, better opponents for him, that's when we'll find out what he's really made of.
Mm-hmm. But still, I was really impressed with Ty Dillinger in this match. He's getting better every single day.
Yeah, he's getting better.
Plus, he came back with a neon 10 sign strapped to his back.
The only problem with Ty Dillinger is he took over. Who's the guy who faced Kevin Owens in his first match?
CJ Parker.
He took over his spot. That's basically his spot. And Ty.
I hope that Ty differ. I beg to differ. You know why? Because CJ Parker never had a neon sign strapped to his back. 10, baby, 10.
Yeah, he had signs in the. He came down to the ring with signs,
but they didn't light up. And A and B, they weren't strapped to his back.
But let's face it, okay?
I give it a 9.
He's in the same
Blasphemy.
role. He's in the same role. I want to see him break out of that role, but he's in the CJ Parker role right now.
And you know what? To me, that's fine. You know why? Because he's 10.
Just because you keep saying that, he's a 7.
That's 10.
6.
10.
3.
10.
0.
Game over.
Game over, yeah.
Alright, in all seriousness, moving on.
Yeah.
We actually had a bit of an upset here in my eyes.
Yeah.
The Revival beating American Alpha for the tag titles again.
I do not call this an upset because I know what it means.
Ask me what it means.
It means that with the draft coming, they're looking for tag teams for SmackDown.
That is fair.
Which means now that the American Alphas aren't held down by the NXT Tag Team titles, we're going to be seeing them on SmackDown really soon.
And that's fine by me.
And this was pretty much more of the same from their Dallas match, except with a little less of a crowd. Okay.
It was honestly still match of the night for me.
Oh yeah, I don't know about that.
I liked it. I actually enjoyed this match very much.
It was really good. If these two teams go up on SmackDown, let them fight for the SmackDown tag team titles for days. Okay, that's it. I could see them wrestle each other every show for an entire year, never get tired of it. Okay, but it was really good. And yeah, you had the shock surprise ending, but
yeah, what exactly happened after this match? What happened?
American
Paul
Alpha
Ellering
bringing on two giant Samoans.
And what happened? What did the giant Samoans do?
Eat American Alpha?
Well, yes. No, wait. What did they do? What occurred? What occurred?
They ate him.
Say the phrase. What happened? What happened?
I don't know where you're going.
What sort of beatdown was it?
Epic beatdown!
See, there you go. That's all I was looking for. And really, I was like, okay, epic beatdown.
I knew exactly what you were waiting for, but I just needed a minute.
You denied me?
I needed a minute to build up so that I could go.
You had no idea. Stop bullshitting.
So anyway,
you wanted epic beatdown,
and because of these two big Samoan guys showing up, taking out American Alpha. Once the match ended, I was like, "Oh, looks like American Alpha is going up to the main roster." Until these guys showed up, I expect these guys to have at least one or two matches together before they get taken up to the main roster.
Well, remember the draft, the split doesn't happen until mid-July.
Exactly, so that gives them just enough time to do something on their way out.
Yeah.
Make these guys look like badasses and explain who Paul Ellering is.
At least to some of the youngling crowds.
Kevin Owens.
Wait.
Kevin Owens lit into the NXT crowd on Twitter when he was like, "And this is why I'm not sad that I don't wrestle in Full Sail Arena anymore."
Well,
because
to be
you don't know.
Honest, I didn't know who Paul Ellering was.
I just knew he was a manager for Hawk and Animal.
Yeah.
That's all I knew.
And the only reason I knew that was just because that I had to have the NXT commentary team tell me. Corey Graves had to tell me who this guy was.
Oh, I didn't even hear that. I just knew, as soon as I saw him come out, I'm just like, ooh, what a rush.
Yeah, in my own defense, I wasn't watching WWF during this time, so I had no idea.
And that was your fault.
Hey.
It's all your fault.
Well, just because I got my teeth cut on WCW.
You're one of the ones that Kevin Owens doesn't want to talk to on Twitter anymore.
Well, joke's on you, tough guy. You don't never talk to me on Twitter. So there, Kev. Nah.
Wait, what?
Kevin Owens basically lit into the Full Sail Arena crowd on Twitter. It was like, you not knowing who Paul Ellering is and chanting, "Who's this guy?" is the reason why I'm not sad that I don't work here anymore. That's it.
Why did I not know about this?
Yeah.
You really need to be following Kevin Owens.
And I was like, wow.
I am following him on Twitter.
Follow him harder.
I guess I just don't go on Twitter as much as I used to.
I was like, wow, okay.
Well, hashtag truth.
Yeah.
Spitting truth. But anyway, moving on.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm interested to see how that goes. Next match, Nakamura going over Austin Aries.
This was another fun match.
Oh yeah, big time.
It wasn't match of the night. It was great. It was good. It was kind of slow though.
It was a more storytelling match.
Yeah, more storytelling. Less kick ass than Zayn Nakamura. But you definitely got more of a sense for the people who don't really watch TNA and all that. You got more of a sense of what Austin Aries can do.
Yeah, this was a star-making match.
This was a showcase for Austin Aries.
I will say that Death Valley driver on the apron.
Ow!
God, that was the highlight of the match. As soon as I saw it, I'm like, oh shit. shit.
Yeah.
Damn, that must hurt.
I want to go back and
that one in the morning.
And that's one thing you'll get out of every Nakamura match is you get that one oh shit moment. Like this time it was the DVD on the Death Valley Driver on the apron. The last time was when Zayn tried to do his running DDT through the ropes and Nakamura just kicked him in the face. That was so with the Nakamura match on NXT pay-per-view type event, you'll get those few oh shit moments like you just said, like your mind goes how is he gonna get up from that? How? How? You just got Death Valley Driver on the apron. How is this person gonna get up from that?
How indeed.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was a very great match.
It was a good match, yeah. I still like Zayn Nakamura better.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
but that was
still beating that.
But yeah, this worked.
Mm-hmm.
It helped both the guys.
Oh yeah.
It did what it was supposed to do.
Yes, big time. Alright, moving on. We had Asuka defeating Nia Jax for the NXT Women's title.
This was the weakest match on the card for me.
Really?
I actually was not into this match.
I actually enjoyed this quite a bit.
I
just
won't
because of the dynamic.
Just because of Asuka. Don't lie to us.
I won't say that I didn't. I won't say that what you just said, that it was the least entertaining match on the crowd and on the card, because I remember the first one. But that's it still was like one of the ones where I wasn't really into it until the end, where Asuka's just kicking the shit out of this was a match. It was just another definition of a match that was there.
I didn't even think it was a match.
It was here. It happened. They tried to do the storyline of Nia Jax being too tough for Asuka to overcome.
I think that's what hurt it, because that's all the match was.
Because didn't they do the same thing with Bayley and Nia Jax?
That seems to be the variant of the working Nia Jax style right now.
Yeah, and the problem with that is when you see the same type of match, it was basically the same as the Bayley match. So
I just see Nia Jax as just a big lug who can't do that much.
I'll say this, okay?
And the match, and I'm like, okay, the match didn't, like, she could probably take the move, but doing a move to Asuka, that's right, I'm going to keep going.
I don't care.
Sure you do, I can see it in your eyes. But yeah, giving a move, it's more like shove. I lift you up, slam. It's just okay. This isn't wrestling. It's just It's just showing. Oh yeah, she's strong. Yippee.
Yeah, Nia right now. That's my one complaint. The same complaint. Really, Nia. A lot of her moves are lacking that same sort of power and impact. Like, again, the obvious comparison is to Karma or Awesome Kong or however you want to call her.
But Awesome Kong is actually very good.
And also, Karma and Awesome Kong, she did different stuff every match.
Yeah.
Like, what she also had tons and tons of experience before coming up to WWE. Nia does not yet.
But this, then she shouldn't be
going for the women's title.
Exactly. She shouldn't be going for the women's title on pay-per-view because, okay, I'm watching this match. Okay, and I'm about halfway through it. I go, I've seen this already. Nothing has changed. The only thing that's changed is the champion is different. I disagree. I have seen this exact match already, and they're going to play Asuka in the struggling champion role. Okay, and then there's going to be about a minute before the end of the match where Asuka comes out and beats and gets it done. So I'm like, I've seen this. I saw it with Bayley. Okay, and that was And that was 2 pay-per-view events ago. It's too soon. Get her out of here.
There is one major difference I saw from what you just described. With Bayley facing Asuka, Bayley was more of the champion who was...
I'm not talking about Asuka.
Let me finish. That dynamic was more of... Okay, Bayley is the defending champion. Now there's this really badass upstart who's never been beaten. Now it's... The story that I got from it was... Okay, the formerly untouchable Asuka is now being beaten up and thrown around. No one has come this close before. It's only a matter of time before someone beats her. She's still tough, but she's vulnerable now.
We're talking about 2 different matches because I wasn't talking about Bayley Asuka.
I'm saying that I'm saying how the dynamic is not the same and the difference between the 2. The main difference between this one was it showed off a different side of Asuka that is not just Little Miss Cool kicking Asian awesome machine. Now she's an actual competitor. Now she's actually vulnerable, and now we've seen that she can come close to losing. Should it have been Nia Jackson's match? No. Nia Jax is not ready yet. But at the current moment, she's also the most credible threat that they had, which tells me enough that was enough reason to throw her on and give her this match, even though she doesn't win. Which to me was fine.
Well, and that's fine.
Which I think hurt the match for me.
Yeah, that's fine. But what I was going for, okay, Nia Jax got the shot before Asuka against Bayley. Okay, you had Nia Jax basically doing the same thing on last night on Takeover that she was doing against Asuka than she was doing against Bayley. I know that the story is different. Okay, I know that Asuka is this badass champion who's going up against this threat. Okay, but the threat needs to give me something different. Okay, and I didn't get that.
Which is why she won't be sticking around, I don't think.
Well, thank God for that. Okay.
I'll just end my statement with that. I didn't feel that Ahsoka was close to losing this match. It just shows, yes, Nia Jax is strong, but she is nowhere near. Like, it just, for me, it just shows how unstoppable Ahsoka can be.
Yeah, true.
Do I feel like Nia Jax has potential? Yes, but you're throwing her for the NXT Women's Title. You're throwing her in way too soon.
She's Incredible Hulk green.
All right. In that regard, pardon me while I throw out momentarily hijack your bit and throw out a quick Scholar's Quick Talk question. If Nia Jax isn't ready yet, who else would you put against Asuka right now?
Honestly, I have no idea.
And that's exactly why we got.
I would have said either Carmella or you don't need. You can have. This isn't Takeover Brooklyn. You don't need a legit challenger for this one. You could have had Carmella. You could have had Alexa Bliss. You could have had any of them. Nia Jax getting 2 title shots.
I think this is going to be the last for a while.
It better be. It better be, because she's not ready.
The only name that really comes to mind here so far, maybe not now, but maybe in a month or so, Peyton Royce.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can see that.
Build her up.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's almost there. She just needs a little something extra to put her over the top.
Yeah.
And then she could
have like a triple threat #1 contenders match at some point. Peyton Royce versus Carmella versus Alexa Bliss. Have Peyton Royce go over, and then you have something.
Mm-hmm.
It's easy pickings. You could have done that this time, but no, you had to have the person whose first title shot didn't go too well. You put her in and tell her to do the same thing again. It makes for a boring match. I'm sorry.
I'm gonna make a bold prediction. I'm gonna say that Peyton Royce is gonna be next in line within a couple months.
I can see that.
By title?
Yeah. she has. I think she'll.
When it's Asuka's time to come up, I think the Peyton Royce will be the one to take.
I
over.
think she'll be in the. I'm going to make a bold prediction. Say she's going to be in the title picture by SummerSlam.
Okay.
All right.
All right.
Mark it down. We'll see if I'm right. In the meantime, we got our main event here. We got Samoa Joe defeating Finn Balor.
I got one question for you two.
Yes.
The way that they brought the cage in as just four walls lowering down and to make one cage, I actually think that's a better idea than just the cage lowering down on the main roster.
My gut reaction says that was just a limitation of the venue itself.
Oh yeah, most definitely. But I really wish they could do something similar to that.
It was cool looking though.
Oh, it was
awesome. That was enjoyable.
It made the steel cage like intense.
Yeah, it did. It
really
made
did. Like, I wish they had something, maybe because, like you said, because of the venue. Maybe they'll just have it all the way up near the ceiling and then have it lower down, still flat. And once it gets low enough, then close it. What's the best way to put it? Just close it as they did for NXT. I just thought that made the cage look more epic.
And I totally agree with you. I just don't know how, from a logistical standpoint, how possible that's going to be for every single time that a cage match comes up.
Never say never.
I'm not saying never. I'm just saying I don't know.
This was good. Wasn't great.
Their first match was better.
NXT
Dallas was a better match.
Yeah. At the time, again, this is gonna have to be one of the ones I rewatched probably tomorrow morning. But I felt personally that this one, it was all right. But at this point, I just felt like I was just sort of burned out on Joe Balor.
Yeah, I kind of was like, after when they announced that they were going to do it again, I was like, why?
Well,
why?
It's the best way to end the feud.
True.
It was the best way to end the feud, and
with something that's never been in NXT. Yeah,
but and now it's like, okay, on to the next.
Mm-hmm.
If they do it again, it's gonna be overkill like Ziggler Corbin.
I will say, the one shocking thing about this match was what happened after the match ended. Nothing happened.
Nothing.
No build. I was like, oh, so we're just ending it on. It's like, oh, the feud's over. Joe wins. Good night.
I was fine with that.
Which kind of makes me feel like this takeover event really meant nothing in the long run. It just kind of happened.
Because normally after the big main event matches, something happens. A new contender comes out. Yeah. We have someone come in and celebrate, like with Bayley and Sasha Banks.
This felt like NXT's version of Roadblock.
Yeah,
for me,
it was a B pay-per-view.
It was, it's the fast lane on the way to WrestleMania. That's it.
But yeah, it was a good match. I think the thing that hurt the match the most is it was more focusing on the steel cage than the match itself.
Yeah, I didn't really like the escape rule. I don't.
Yeah, it didn't seem to make a lot of sense for them. They didn't need it.
Yeah, when you've got Samoa Joe and Finn Balor in a cage, it should be to the death, okay? Till someone can't stand anymore. It was more about the cage than the actual match, and I don't like those kind of cage matches.
I do like that. I did like how I like the entrances with the match, and I like these like here. This match is for the NXT Championship. First the challenger, here's the champion. I liked that. It felt big. It felt important.
Yeah.
And then the match itself happened, and I was like, okay, this is just going through the motions.
Mm.
It's
and like then super brainbuster.
Yeah, the two guys are doing
muscle buster.
Yeah,
I was like,
it was a buster.
Right.
They were going through at the beginning of the match. It's like, we've done this before. Go through the motions. Do what we normally do. And then when the last 5 minutes hit, they're like, okay, now we pick it up. Let's do some new stuff. But by then I'm bored. And it's like, I've seen this before. It's still good. Okay, they're not screwing up or anything, but it's still good. But I've seen it before. I'm burned out on it. Yeah, he added a cage. That's nice, but I don't really care.
It ends a feud. Yeah.
I don't really care. Let's move it along. That's it.
Yeah, pretty much. I got nothing to add to that one.
So, facial hair rating?
Facial hair rating?
For NXT Takeover, the end.
My only friend, the end.
The end is here. I love that. I will love that.
I still do enjoy that. I'm going to go with a full beard, 4 out of 5.
I'm sad to say this, because I have never given an NXT show one of these, but because it felt like a B show, and nothing really happened, nothing. Well, the wrestling was good, okay, but nothing happened other than after the tag team match that made me look forward to future stuff. Mm-hmm. So I gotta treat it like I would normally treat a WWE pay-per-view. Classic goatee.
I came close to giving it a classic goatee myself.
See, I'm gonna go with classic goatee as well, but I'm gonna just go a little higher, like very closer to a full beard, because some of the matches were very good. Like the tag team match, like a match of the night for me. I love that was such a great match. Everything else was just there, and the main event was fun. I like what they did with the cage. I liked Nakamura versus Austin Aries, because that was a very storytelling match. And yeah, it made me. It didn't leave me like, okay, well that happened to a full extent. Like I felt like, oh, that was a fun event. Yeah. It didn't leave me hungry for more, but it still left me satisfied.
The thing that would have got it a full beard is if the only thing that happened like afterwards to build to the next show, if there was something else.
Well, I guess we have to wait for NXT for that one.
I know, but it's like if you're known for doing stuff like that on takeovers. Okay, so you're sitting there waiting for it. Okay, and then the copyright on the bottom shows up, and for me personally, okay, the air got let out.
Yeah, that's understandable.
I'm like,
no arguments from me.
Yeah, for me, it was one of those. Yeah, the wrestling was great, but it was one of those. Yeah, that happened. It was a good.
Hey, as long as it certainly wasn't bad, I'm okay with it.
Yeah.
Besides, if rumors are true, what's coming next, I think we'll all be in just fine.
Indeed.
Mm-hmm. In the meantime, between everything that happened on this week's episode of Monday Night Raw, Fool, I know you've got some Scholars Quick Talk for us.
Indeed I do. Well, I wouldn't even say it's for... The Quick Talks were for Raw per se.
They don't have to be.
They were mainly for NXT. But I'll just throw the Quick Talks first.
Fire away.
Did you guys watch the interview with Triple H? The live interview with Triple H after the event?
I did not catch that just yet.
Not yet.
Well, from what he announced, NXT is no longer going to be a developmental stage. It is going to be its own brand.
Oh well. That tells me nothing new.
I was pretty. Most of us were already treating it as like its own.
It really
but,
was.
Now it's official.
Now it's official.
Now it's official,
okay.
Which leaves the Scholars Quick Talk. Will it get its own draft? For the develop. Or I'm going to say with the big draft.
I'm going to say.
If they're involved, how involved do you say?
Well, let me state my. I think I see where this is going. Will it be involved in the draft in some capacity? Yes, because a lot of the big names from NXT will probably be brought up to the main rosters. However, the NXT will not have its own draft per se because of how it all keeps bringing in new talent, whether it's from the independent circuit or homegrown talent from the Performance Center. There's always this influx of new talent coming in. So I really do, unless it's a really rare case like maybe Tyler Breeze or Zack Ryder goes back down, or maybe Mojo Rawley comes back up to form the Hype Bros again. With a few rare exceptions like that, I do not see NXT actively participating in the same draft between Raw and SmackDown.
Okay. He basically stole everything out.
You said it perfect. You said it perfect.
Yeah.
And
I've got nothing to add that he didn't already say.
Yay.
And my second one is kind of a part of it kind of got ruined, but not necessarily, from what I've recently read about a match that's happening at NXT Brooklyn.
Mm-hmm.
But from what I have read beforehand, Finn Balor, in his last event in New Japan, he wore black and white. He had black and white makeup on, which was his final match in New Japan. Which he also had a black and white makeup in this event. My Scholar's Quick Talk is this his last match as an official NXT superstar? Will this be his match that calls him up to the main roster?
It does seem plausible. Like, if the proposed match is actually on the way we seem to think it is, I can see Finn Balor taking the Sami Zayn approach, being bumped up to the main roster or drafted.
But still coming back down to face.
Yeah, just coming back down to face...
even Kevin Owens did that too.
A certain dude,
Finn Balor versus Shinsuke Nakamura.
Yeah,
okay, that's the match we're talking about. Okay.
Which I desperately want to get tickets for, thank you.
Yes.
Yeah. Do I think that face paint really matters?
Is it a subtle message?
Do I think it's a subtle message? I'm not the type to look into things like that far.
I just read it today, and I'm like, that's an interesting concept. I didn't even think about that.
Okay, his storyline with Joe is over. Hopefully, fingers crossed. Okay, unless they're gonna do like a full storyline for his match, for his proposed match with Shinsuke Nakamura, instead of the Sami Zayn type, or just like an attraction match. If there's going to be a full storyline to that, then yeah, he needs to stay down in NXT. However, okay, I agree with Jeff. He could come up, start a storyline, maybe with the club or whatever, start a storyline like that, and go back down for an attraction match. It's been done, as we've said, with Sami Zayn. Okay, can I see it happening? Sure. Do I believe in looking into subtle messages via face paint? Not particularly, no.
Mm-hmm.
But his storylines are basically all wrapped up. So yeah, I could see him in the WWE in the next couple weeks.
Mm-hmm. Awesome. And that's it for Scholars Quick Talk. Brought to you by Scholars Quick Talk.
Scholars Quick Talk.
I could see him in Money in the Bank, maybe attacking Cena.
That would be interesting.
Ba-ba-da-ba. Speaking of attacking Cena, I know we have to address this before we close out the show. The promo and exchanges from between AJ and John Cena this week. Holy crap.
Say what you want about... I remember talking so much crap about AJ Styles and his promo abilities when he was in TNA. Okay. But going up against John Cena on the mic brings out the best in people. Yeah. Okay? I have never heard a better promo from AJ Styles, and he went full internet fanboy.
Guys like you bury guys like me.
Whoa, Nelly. That's what I love about this promo. It was so real.
And they're both going in. They're both going in. Okay, John Cena's bringing in the internet community too.
I'm surprised he actually brought in the Bullet Club. The fact that he said that, I'm like,
really? I feel like that was a screw up.
I think it was too. That was like the first thing I thought. I was like, wow, we slipped.
But still, he said it. I don't even care if it was a screw. I'm like, wow, he really brought that in. Like, and he's just like, you're just saying the same thing everyone says. Oh, I'm the guy who doesn't like I'm like an internet guy who doesn't like John Cena.
I've beaten them all, and you're not gonna be any different.
You couldn't beat Roman Reigns. What makes you think you can face John Cena? I'm just like, God damn. And he just completely laid it out on what AJ Styles, his WWE career is right now.
I'm like, wow.
I'm like, for me,
it's like they both went full dick on that promo.
One thing that I got out of this promo, and I think I said it to both of you, after it happened, with how it all went down, for their, I guess it's basically kind of a spoiler on my talk for next week's Money in the Bank, but AJ Styles kind of has to Kevin Owens this.
He's absolutely due, especially after that whole exchange with
I'm not even gonna say he's due. Okay, you go that hard in on a guy on a promo, and then you lose.
Yeah.
Okay, that's it. It has nothing to do with being due. It's just one of those. If you go in that hard, you cut that hard of a promo, you go in on a guy, and then he beats you. Okay, you've got nothing to say after that. You're like, hey, feud's over. Feud's done. Feud's done. You went in that hard and he fucking beat you. You're done.
I already know I'm going to save my own personal thoughts for next week during the prediction show for Money in the Bank, but I've got a little bit of thought to say as far as what's going to happen and why. So,
are you going to? You're just saying
he's saving that.
Okay,
for the
I just thought you were giving. I thought you were giving some with how you built it. I thought you were going to give some kind of preview of your thoughts. So I'm just like, and what is it?
You'll have to find out next week's episode 101. Wow,
121.
121 of the Scholars Wrestling Show.
And I guess I'll just quickly. It's something I have been wanting to say about the whole. It's the only other interesting thing that happened this week was just the promos, the video packages for Rollins and Reigns. And really, those are the only two big things that happened this past week, other than that fantastic ladder.
You beat me to it.
That ladder promo, but it was so ridiculous. It was fun.
Yeah,
and it gave us Teddy Long.
Holla holla, playa.
Even though his opening segment showed he hasn't been on the microphone in years, it was like. Oh, it's okay. He got better throughout the show. I will say, when he came back the second time, he was a lot more... It's like, okay, Mike Rust is gone. Now I'm back to what I'm doing.
That was a treat.
But yeah, that was a treat. Moving on. Back the video... Teddy Long is awesome. I love him. I don't care how ridiculous he is.
He looks so sad at the end of when he was walking out.
Even though
he looks so sad.
And then it was just like, wait, is Stephanie a heel again? What happened to the whole face thing that she's been doing for the last couple of weeks? But that's moving off topic. Yeah. That's for another day. The video packages for Rollins and Reigns, I actually think WWE... Dave said it best. WWE kind of blew their load too early with these video packages. For me personally, they should have saved it for the triple threat match for the title. Because with how far back they were going with both the packages, how much the Shield has influenced them, I feel like you needed a package for Dean Ambrose for all this. Because it just feels like something's missing. And in both packages, Dean Ambrose got the cold shoulder. Yes, he's not in the match, understandable, but he was just as big of a deal as a Shield member as Rollins and Reigns did, and the packages there really hurt. And that's what hurt the packages very much. They were beautiful packages. It just shows WWE
at the moment doesn't really care.
It just shows what they did at best. They're doing what they do best, and I just hate it after the Reigns promo. Dean Ambrose came out for his match with Kevin Owens. It's like, and here's the third member of the Shield. And here was the third member of the Shield, Dean Ambrose. And that was it. I was like, wow. God, I gave the big middle finger. I was just like, the one F-bomb for me. Everybody gets one each show. Fuck you for that one. It legit pissed me off. I'm like, he's more than just the third. He's not the third wheel. He was just as important as Rollins and Reigns.
And I also wanted to bring this up. At the end of the Ambrose-Owens match, when they're climbing the ladders, I'm watching it with a group of friends. Charlie and JML. Okay. And Charlie's still sitting over there saying Dean Ambrose is going to win. And then Dean Ambrose sets up that ladder and starts climbing it. I'm like, his chances are getting smaller by the minute. He touches that briefcase. It's over, bro. And he reached up. And I was like, And then Kevin Owens drops the ladder. And then Kevin Owens sets up the ladder. I'm like, don't you dare. Don't you dare. He takes one step and then backs off. I'm like, okay, you still got a shot. Okay, that's it.
All I will say to end the Rollins and Reigns packages, Rollins was the more sympathetic character in the pack. His package was more three-dimensional. You saw him as a kid. Are we supposed to be like... Is Rollins supposed to be the unofficial face of this? Because you get the more sympathetic package, and then you get Roman Reigns, which is just the typical.
After that WWE 24 thingamabob that they did, I think that's where this is all going.
It just makes the whole argument even more that Reigns is just not. He is not a character. He's just he's not the guy. He's a guy.
Yeah.
But that's just my biggest beef with Roman Reigns is that he has no character to work with. He's blander than white bread. But yeah, back to Dean Ambrose with what you were saying, Brian. I think it's right now my top two contenders are still Dean Ambrose and Owens, who I'm going to pick at the end. I'll save that one for the prediction show next week.
Yes.
But I will say, if with how you are you were completely saying how Dean Ambrose has no chance to an extent before we started recording, and your arguments by it, which will probably go on another episode, probably even hell, we'll probably save that for next week.
Yeah.
I'll just end it by saying, if done right, Dean Ambrose winning a Money in the Bank contract is not as I guess you said it. I think you said impossible. Did you say impossible in the beginning?
No, I said that when a face wins the Money in the Bank, it never turns out well.
If it's done right, which in my head how it goes by, it actually can be done right.
Well, look at how they're treating Dean Ambrose right now. That's another reason.
And I'll just say, I'll just save that for next week. My argument for that one next week gives us something to talk about for the listeners to actually look forward to next week.
Oh yes. And you know what? Speaking of all our listeners,
You're
as always,
for that segue.
Thank you, sir. As always, drop us a line and let us know what you think. Who from NXT is going over to the draft? Who's going to get called up? Is CM Punk actually going to fight? Let us know. Let us know what you think. Of course, like this video if you like it. Subscribe if you want to see more. Check us out on Facebook. What?
Nothing.
I'm getting sleepy.
No. It's just something you said. Nothing. You didn't mess up or anything. It's just something you said. I'll tell you
I'm
later.
going to justify that with my tiredness right now.
Okay.
In any case, check us out on Facebook, The Scholars Wrestling Show, and of course, as always, you can follow us for live tweeting fun on our Twitter machines. Check us out on our main Twitter account at ScholarsOW for all the latest episode uploads. And of course, you can also follow us on our personal Twitter accounts. Fool, where can they reach you at?
You can find me at the Avataric.
Brian.
At Atomic Beanpole.
And I'm Robbie Rage, all one word, no apostrophe, thank you very large. Yeah, you love it.
Indeed.
In any case, you know who we are by now. We are the Scholars of Wrestling, and you have just been schooled.
You're welcome.
See you next week for the prediction show.
I find it funny that CM Punk took over Brock Lesnar's storyline.
Oh.